Pretzel?
It's called Pretzel. Pretzel.fm or something, or Pretzel EFS or something. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me questions. I think it's Pretzel.rocks, maybe. Pretzel.rocks. That's what it is.
Oh, that's because there's a Pretzel Rocks in the street. I'm like, where have I seen pretzel lately? Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because the agreement for using it for free is that it gets to promote junk in your feed.
Yes.
Or in
Swears before the show do not count. It's the new year.
They count. You're up 2 swears for the year.
Oh, should I curse?
We should document the swears for an entire year, and then in December of this year, we'll know how many swears you swore. You swore.
How many swears you swore? Jacob, why won't you open these stickies? These are the best stickies.
Swears start as soon as you sit down. That's a good point. All right. I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to make a podcast. Gosh, could you imagine if you like Carl, what's his name? Not Carl Weathers. Carl Saunders. What's the dude from Sling Blade's name? Carl Shoulders. Carl Buckets. Carl McGuffin. I don't know. Okay.
I love that you're asking me. Apollo.
Carl Apollo. No, that's not it. He's Apollo Creed, though. I know what you're saying. I have seen Rocky. Okay. Here we go. In a 5, 4, 3. Hold on. Gotta get my sounds. Gotta get my segues. 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, the show that brings you the latest and greatest and odd and crazy news from all over the planet. Yes, we will be standing upon the pulpit today to shout at you with great vigor those stories which have occurred in the first week of 2020. This, in the year of our Lord 2020, when weird things happen, we will bring to you that news, and you will accept it, because we're standing on a tall bench. And that makes us more important than you, and therefore more intelligent. I'm your host, Steven. I'll be leading the congregation today, joined as always by the wonderful, the amazing Smashley, who is cat-eared and drinking a large bottle of water. How you doing, Smashy?
I had to drink a diabetes juice today.
What does that mean? So is that is that a can with Wilford Brimley's face on it?
They missed such a good labeling opportunity. They should have done that. It was just like one of those little water bottles, but it just tasted like really syrupy Sprite.
Okay.
Like, if I was given it at a restaurant on ice, I'd have been like, this is okay. But knowing why I had to drink it to see if I have gestational diabetes or not, was less fun. And also I missed the time where I was supposed to drink it, so I had to chug it because I
raise your hand if you're shocked.
To time. Yes.
I'm not shocked. I was just saying raise your hand.
It was so bad. Like, I had it, I'm like, okay, at 4:30 I drink it. But they added another time. Finish at 4:35. So when did you think I started it?
Probably about 4:45.
I looked down, it said 4:34, and I'm like, I still have another minute. No, I gotta drink it now.
So you had to chug the sweet water?
Yes, so I chugged the sweet glucose water. It's basically just diluted Smarties. Not even diluted, it's just liquid Smarties. Like, so Kelly's right, it's just sugar.
They took a bunch of Smarties.
To see if it sticks around in my blood or not.
So was that to see if your baby has diabetes or if you have diabetes?
So women, when they're pregnant, can develop diabetes. It's called gestational diabetes because you get it while you're pregnant. I don't know the mechanism behind it. Kelly or Jacob will. But it can cause issues in the third trimester. But
you don't have diabetes.
If I have it, then I have it. It should go away after birth, however.
Right, but you don't have it. Or did the test take longer than that? Like, they've got to test.
They took 3 vials of my blood. I held up my finger and I'm like, I'm ready for you to check my blood sugar. They're like, and then they took 3 from my arm crease.
I love when doctors you go in thinking like, oh, this is just like a normal thing, and they're like, oh no, we're gonna shove this up an orifice. Like you were talking about the first ultrasound. Nobody ever warns a woman that the first ultrasound isn't on the tummy. It's not
They
cute.
robo penis you.
They just jam a rod that doesn't even really look pleasant right up your hoo-ha there, and then
And then do this.
it's like a sonar. It's like the it's like getting banged by a
Landing a
submarine.
damn plane.
Landing a- you're getting real intimate with the doctor there. So hey, how about that baseball game last week? Oh no, what did they talk to ladies about? Because dudes, it's all like, just see the Yankees when they're jamming their whole hand up your rectum.
So I ask a lot of questions and I feel like people get excited to talk about the technicalities of what they're doing. So they're like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and now I'm doing this and blah, 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 blah. And like, so I get them either talking about their kids or the technicalities of what they're doing because I get bored.
So Lando was telling me when he had his vasectomy done, he was letting me know that the doctor was like, hey, you want to see what I got going on down here? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be like, hey, when you're ready to cut into my nuts, pretend I'm not here, do your job, and then we'll both shake hands and say, nice job, well done, see you never. And we'll both go away. But it's not. Landon was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. You could see the tubes. And I'm like, I'm not. No, I'll pass out if I know my body's
you'd
open.
be fine unless like blood went.
Oh, gosh. Dude, so we were playing at your parents' house, and Sam was playing with a sheet of cardboard paper because that's laying around because you never know when you're going to need it. Big old sheet of cardboard paper at your parents' house. And he's playing with it, using it as a Megatron cannon because that's what you do when you're 4. And he paper cut the bejesus out of his finger, like paper cut. I'm doing something. I'm working on one of his transformers or whatever, and he's like, "Uh-oh!" And I said, "What happened?" He said, "I'm bleeding." And I looked over, and there's blood just everywhere. I mean, it's going down his hand. I'm like, "What happened, buddy?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I was like, "You got a paper cut?" And he's like, "That what a paper cut is?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "It's a lot of blood." I said, "No joke, buddy." I was like, "Okay, come on. Let's go to the sink." He did not shed a tear. Not a tear. He was looking at it, just watching it. So I washed his hand off, and then I washed his hand off. I'm kind of getting myself together, and I look down while I'm trying to get paper towels and stuff for him, and he's squeezing his finger to make the blood go. He's like, "Look at what this does." Like, the blood's coming out. I'm like, "Would you stop? That is your life force, child. That's supposed to stay in."
Is that why? I feel like that's the seed of why it bothers you, because that's your like chi. And if it's not in you, it's out of you. And if it's out of you, it's bad.
That's yeah, exactly. That's
the
stuff.
crux of it.
If blood is, no, not really. It's more or less the I don't want to know that it's actually doing anything inside my body. I'm a meat sack, and there's stuff inside this meat sack. But if I, like in health class, I'd get nauseated if I sit there and be like, "There's blood pumping through my hands," and then I'd do this, like freak myself out. Like, oh.
That's such a weird, like, that's my favorite weird thing that you have.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. And sometimes I wonder, like, maybe I can get over this and just be okay with it. I can't. I've tried. I've been like, brain, you listen here. This is not something to freak out over. And my brain's like, yeah, it is. I don't care what you think. It's kind of like when you go on an amusement park ride and you're like, I shall not get nauseated today. I am not going to get nauseated. I'm going to tell my brain that this is fine and everything's good. And your brain's like, I don't care what part of your higher level logic system thinks this is okay, but you've clearly eaten something dangerous and it's time to vomit. Let's do. Because Stephanie was explaining that's what nausea is. Your body just goes, I don't know what happened, but he's all discombobulated. Make him throw up.
That's just the go-to. That's
the go-to.
Your body's go-to.
That's your brain. Your brain just goes, I don't know, but the eyes and ears are telling me two different things. Better make him throw up. That's the best we can do.
I will say last year when Jacob and I went to Busch Gardens, I found myself getting seasick, and it's never happened to me before, and I'm like, F you, traitorous body. Like, I've been able to sit on roller coasters and just ride them until the park closes my entire life, and, like, now you're kinda like,
Yeah.
"You're old."
Stephanie said it's your equilibrium in your ears. Your inner ear starts getting stupid, and it can't shove it up your butt in her ear. Like you got it. She said it starts to not be as flexy about things as it used to be. It's determined. I now know that the world is solid, and if you stand on the world, it should not move. And then it's like established rules for the universe. And then when you do something that disobeys those rules, it's like, no, this may have been okay, but I'm smart now, and this is bad news.
Right, but I've been on roller coasters and doing scary, stupid ride horses, fling myself down mountains on various animals and items my entire life. So I feel like it should just accept that things move.
It doesn't like it anymore. It's decided that that's not the way the world works. We should tell the folks, Smashy, before we get too far into this show that we're already 10 minutes into, what they can look forward to this new year. That's the cue. That's the best segue I've got for what you're supposed to talk about.
Is this the book plug?
I thought you said butt plug for a second. I was like, no, no, we're not sponsored by them yet. Maybe next time.
So yes, butt plug or no butt plug?
Yes, butt plug. Butt plug it.
I'm from now. Can that just be the short link?
Plug the butt.
2dorks/butt plug. So last year, as some of you guys know, we did with the amazing Kelly Lynn Colby, Cursed Dragon Ship put out this wonderful Legions of Dork. Legion. I can't say this name, Steven. I've never done it okay.
What is it? The Legion of Dorks presents Laundered, an anthology of monster messes.
I can't say Legion of Dorks. I say Legions of Dork.
No, that's not how it works. There's many legions, all composed of one dork. Or dork is plural of dork. There are many dork.
Many dork, much legion. Anyway, this book is fantastic. It was an anthology. Kelly calls it a poop at a time read. And so proceeds go to Toys for Tots. And we've just opened submissions for the next anthology, which is Legion of Dorks presents Horizons, an anthology of epic journeys. And we're really excited to put that out again for next year's December stream for fundraisers for Toys for Tots.
Yes.
There's so many S's that I added to everything in that entire paragraph that did not belong.
You did a great
job. Buy the
job.
book, submit a story. It's a short story, 7,000 words or less. You got 2 months.
2 months.
March 31st, my sister's birthday. Send me some shit, yo.
You got 3 months. 2dorks.net/horizons. We'll give you all that information. That's just our short link to take you over to Cursed Dragon Ship. The wonderful Kelly Lynn Colby, who's in the chat. That's her publishing company. We're really excited about it. I've got a really great, fun idea for a short story about an epic journey. And I know it's funny because you're like, short story and epic journey are kind of oxymorons. Well, it depends on how you define epic and how you define a journey. So there are rules and stipulations. You'll find all those things out on 2dorks.net/horizons. But this is another charity-based anthology that we'll be releasing that we're all very excited to write stories for. And we want more stories from outside the Legion. So even if you don't plan to write a story, if you have a friend who's a writer or aspiring writer or interested in putting something out there, tell them about it because that would be great too.
And it is paid if your anthology, if your story gets accepted into the anthology, you do get a monetary bonus.
And money is good, am I right? So what makes the world go round?
Sequential stories. No, the story has to never have been published before, and it has to begin and end inside itself. I mean, oh, you mean like, can I just make it longer and be like, story A? No, it has to be standalone. It is not a Marvel cinematic universe. It is a DC Joker.
It's okay, all by itself, no connections to anything.
Yeah,
there are other movies you could use But yeah, that's good. Yeah, not a Marvel Cinematic Universe where you have to watch it like it's a long TV show.
Yes. And you can't write in someone else's universe. It has to be completely out of your own butthole.
So keep your Hermione Granger erotic fan fiction to
Oh
yourself.
my Jesus. If ah,
Because we
hate
don't need it.
people. Really just think people are just
And that's when she found Dobby the house elf in the closet.
rifling in her underwear.
Unaware of her presence, she sneaked upon him. I don't even know what that would be. Though now I want to write a weird Harry Potter fanfic. It'll be fine. It's just about house elves. A deep, seedy version of the
I feel
house
like
elves.
Subs over there going,
Subs like, hold on, I got your house elf story right here. In the Denmark Wizarding Red Light
Kelly's
District.
like, look, I will read shit, but I ain't reading that shit.
It'll be fine. Everyone will love it. It'll be great. Factoid of the week. Black-eyed peas, ham, and cabbage are considered good luck if you eat them on New Year's Eve or day because it's believed they will bring you money. Lobster and chicken are considered bad luck because lobsters can move backward and chickens can scratch in reverse. So it's thought these foods could bring a reversal of fortune. That's amazing. I
People are weird.
I didn't know
They're
that.
so weird.
I'm trying to remember if I ate chicken nuggets on New Year's Day, but I don't think I did. I might have eaten buffalo chicken
You
dip,
ate
though.
shrimp.
No, that was New Year's Eve. We ate
That's right.
shrimp.
That's right.
Oh, gosh, you guys, them po' boys. Baby. Them po' boys were good. And po' boy. Going on over
I have so
po' boy.
many good pictures and videos.
It's so great. Ashley's becoming a well-renowned video editor over here.
Ashley has no more room on her computer and had to delete stuff just to like make it function because I decided it would be fun to edit videos.
Ashley's like, 4K is not big, right? That's not big. I could just
like
put
the
the
Christmas
4K.
video was 20 gigs and my computer's like, bitch, please.
The good news is that you're a writer, so most of your stuff is text, right?
Yeah, but it's all of the writing.
Yeah, all the mini incomplete manuscripts.
Yeah, and that is put in the same folder as the videos. They're all in documents.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have anything. How about this? I have so little room I can't move the movies to a different space, an external hard drive, because there's not enough memory to copy it right now.
That happened
So
to
I'm just
Stephanie.
like, I'm trying to chip away at it. I spent like 4 hours yesterday and 4 hours this morning just trying to chip away at it so I can make like enough room to move the big shiz.
Stephanie had 400 gigabytes of pictures on her computer. And when Apple moved from iPhoto to Photos, it has to convert the photo library to the new format. It needs spare room to do that. So when we tried to open the thing, it wouldn't open the photos anymore. We had to do this weird shuffle. You felt like you were Indiana Jones at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're just like, don't lose it, just change it over. And it wouldn't. So I had to go buy her a portable 2 terabyte drive. That's overkill, but she's gonna have more pictures, so whatever. Storage is cheap. So we put it all over there, then copied it. Because Apple doesn't support network storage for your photos. Shove it up your butt, Apple. So you literally have to go buy a portable drive to put your photos on because it does not support opening them from any other location. And it has to be on a drive formatted a particular way.
Yep.
Oh, it's a nightmare. So screw you, Apple. I don't use your software anymore. I'm done with you. Anyway.
That's what I'm gonna have to do essentially with this, but I need a drive. Jacob's like, well, use your terabyte drive. And I'm like, but that's the backup to my old computer, and I don't want to overwrite it because there's stuff on there that I want.
Yeah, it gets messy. I have 3 big hard drives sitting on my desk right now with various things on them that I need to go through. One of them's your mom's, and she wrote a story about 2 cats. I didn't mean to find it, but I found it, and I read it, and I'm like, this is marvelous. Like, this is the greatest.
What the hell? What?
I was trying. It's So I was trying to find out what was on these random hard drives I had in my house. I'm like, why? Because I've torn apart multiple computers from your parents because I was going
Oh,
to go
sure.
take the drives, wipe them out, and whatever. And but I've forgotten which drive they were. So I put one in, and I was like, what is all this stuff? And it's like DAR, DAR stuff. So I knew it was your mom's drive. And there's like this story about a cat. Like, I double clicked it, and I was like, oh, look at this thing. And I read a little bit. It was like 2 paragraphs. Like, this is wonderful. This is great.
I wish she would have pursued that because mom's always been able to elicit an emotional response from people with her writing.
Your mom is a fantastic writer, and that's definitely where you get it from. She just
not dad.
No, your dad's like writing in the gift card. It sure was great that we ate some cheese yesterday. Hope you're having a good one. You're the best. Love you bunches, Dad. But
also,
hey,
the world's gone to shit.
Yeah, we better be careful because I need a new AK-47 for all the nutballs out there. It's in your happy birthday card. It's like on this side. You're like, oh, okay.
It's the best. Reading my dad's messages, they're just they have nothing to do with anything, and he'll be like randomly really sweet, and then he'll start talking about squirrel nut zippers and
it's all in doctor writing, so you just can't read it anyway.
Yes.
It's the best. Oh, by the way, we need to do the special section now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. So Jacob, our wonderful producer, who we didn't have for the first 8 years of this show, who is an amazing human being, has come along and decided, well, if these jokers won't make anything awesome, I'll make it awesome for them. And he went and collected the top 10 stories of 2019 as decided by the dorks themselves. So these are the stories that we think are the top 10 stories. And Ashley, we can go back and forth on these headlines real quick just to let people know what they are. At number 10, constipated man has life-saving surgery after inserting a massive live eel up his bum.
Wait, where are these things?
They're down in the special section, halfway down the notes. We should have moved them, but we didn't.
Okay. Okay. Number 9, Kuwaiti academic claims gay men have an anal worm that feeds on semen. Hungry for that anus semen. Nom 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 nom.
Cookie Monster want cookies. Number 8, Walmart bans woman who rode cart while drinking wine from a Pringles can.
That's been so popular. Number 7, undercover cops posing as drug buyers arrested by undercover cops posing as drug dealers.
That's the greatest.
Oopsie.
Number 6, man injects himself with his own semen in an effort to treat back pain.
There's been a lot of semen in these stories.
Not a cure. Yep.
Number 5, flushing drugs down the toilet could lead to meth gators, Tennessee Police Department warns.
Number 4, Pennsylvania man receives prison sentence for shooting at fireflies he thought were alien lasers.
That's so good. I feel like that's something my dad would make out.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, man whose farts can kill mosquitoes paid millions by mosquito repellent company.
That was great. That was last week, wasn't it?
How are these real? Yeah, I know.
Oh.
A couple weeks ago.
Number 2,
Maybe.
Oklahoma man driving stolen vehicle caught with rattlesnake, uranium, whiskey, and a firearm.
So good. That's so good. I have so many questions, and the story doesn't answer any of them. And number 1, Alabama man accused of training meth-fueled attack squirrels.
You know what? He was accused for it. I hope it was true. I want that to be a true thing that was trying to happen.
Yes.
So
vote. I stuck the thing in the chat.
Oh, you put it in there? Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And we got to tweet it too. So if you're in there and you got the Twitters, tweet.
You can
this
retweet
poll.
my tweet.
Yeah, so we would love to have the audience tell us which story they think is the top story of 2019 out of those 10. Because we have 4 stories to show, so we had to filter this down.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob worked real hard on that and ended up with these 10. So those are the ones we've got. Excuse me. For honorable mentions, we've got number 11 was gay people exist because pregnant women have anal sex, as claims a bishop. Well, let's just say that's incorrect, but okay. I was going to let you read number 12 if you wanted to.
I know. I was trying desperately quickly to find it while laughing to look like I was doing. Just, oh my God, where are we? And number 12, it's so hot in Spain that manure is self-ignited, sparking a 10,000
Yes.
acre wildfire.
And 13, Instagrammers are swarming this turquoise lake, and it's actually a toxic dump.
Oh yeah, because it makes such pretty pictures. I remember that one.
I do too. That was terrible. It's like the people that are going to Chernobyl right now and like taking sexy pictures in their hazmat suits. It's like y'all are
I
gonna
know,
melt.
I could look
Y'all are gonna melt.
doable in a hazmat suit.
Yeah, that's the only time anybody wants me. That's when I'm wearing a hazmat suit.
That was pretty good, Steven.
I got a face for radio.
Lols.
By the way, Post Malone got another face tattoo. You know, I'm not out to what words do you not like it when I say harsh anybody's yum? But
Or mellow.
face tattoos probably just not a good idea for the long term.
Post Malone?
Yeah, he's a rapper guy. I don't know much about pop culture anymore. All my pop culture understanding comes from 1960s black and white television. But he has a new big face tattoo over here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so none of his face tattoos bother me. That like Lando stash that he has going that doesn't meet in the middle, that's the most offensive thing about his face.
Oh, because it's just a mustache over each lip.
Yeah, he has under nostril eyebrows. That is not a mustache.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that plus like the barbed wire on his head that just I'm not sure what I'm looking at most of the time.
I don't know. Who did it better, him or the Joker?
Yeah. Oh gosh, the Joker shouldn't have had face tattoo. Could you imagine the Joker sitting around? I mean, we could go down this rabbit hole about the Suicide Squad all night, but could you? A person like the Joker doesn't sit down and get tattoos. He ain't got time for that. That's not
Like
a thing
he cuts
does.
his face off and puts it on upside down, but he doesn't get tattoos.
Okay, that's a good point. He did cut his face off. So that's true. He is that nutty, but I mean that seems more jokery than a tattoo on his face does.
Yeah, I feel like if the Joker had been made in the 70s and he had face tattoos, that would have been a little more edgy than a face tattoo now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he'd probably bleed a lot if he cut his face off, but he did it and then he belted it back on
upside down.
Yeah,
that's this effing thing.
Yeah, Scott Snyder, wonderful Batman run, by the way. Not Zack Snyder who made the movie. Scott Snyder who wrote a lot of Batman a few years ago. Real good stuff. I think he started with the Court of Owls, which was really cool. Anyway, that was the face thing.
I just love that Kelly's talking about, but it's so fast to cut your face off. Like, it took them hours in the movie, Kelly. Hours.
Yeah, and Face Off, they had to have a whole surgical team to do that junk.
And then they all died.
And then,
Sorry.
They had him put on a new face. He took his face off.
Yes!
World news. That was Nick Cage's face. So Stevie's Travis. It's a whole other thing. Drunk driver 5 times over the limit caught in a car missing 2 tires. That had to be a real noisy ride. He's 5 times more drunk than the legal limit. Is caught in a car that's missing 2 tires. Police on patrol in early morning of New Year's Day had an easy time spotting a drunk driver because their car was missing both front tires. The Great Manchester Traffic Police reported that the unidentified motorist was struggling to drive and pulled over on a highway outside Barry, UK. Photos of the vehicle revealed that the tires were completely torn off the rims, which were severely worn by the time the cops stopped it. Police said it was no surprise when the driver failed a breathalyzer test, which registered more than 5 times over the legal limit. The driver was arrested on the scene and was not the first to be caught with this type of violation in recent days. In December, South Yorkshire police arrested an incredibly drunk driver behind the wheel of a car missing 1 front tire. UK law allows drunk drivers to be punished with up to 6 months in prison, a 1-year driving ban, and an unlimited fine issued by the court. You cannot drive a car with no tires, Smashy. I've tried to do it in Grand Theft Auto multiple times, and it's just a struggle.
I can't make the metal on concrete noise.
No, I'm not a Foley artist.
What's a Foley artist?
They're the unsung heroes of sound production who
the celery.
Yeah, they like bang on cymbals with celery to make noises that like you would think walking on rocks, you would just record people walking on rocks, but it's a whole different thing you have to record.
I just like that for punches, they take vegetables and beat the shit out of them.
Yes. That makes a good
But it's
punch sound.
it's so funny because like after 30 years of watching movies, your brain starts associating that. Like if you see a car pull out in a wet drive in a movie, it goes "Ee!" In real life, it doesn't make the sound because it's wet. Or the eagles cry in a movie. They always use red-tailed hawk because an eagle sounds like "Meh, meh, I'm majestic motherfuckers. Meh, meh." But the red-tailed hawk sounds amazing. So you hear a hawk, you're like, "Oh, there's an eagle." No, it's just a hawk.
But it's just a hawk. That's fascinating. Yeah, you just use a sound that sounds better. But then you could do some weird stuff. Like Foley artists have a different kind of brain. There was one deal I was watching. A dude took one of those badge pullers, that
Yeah.
you have your
Oh,
badge
yeah. We
attached
got
to.
to look at one that was attached to a vaginal ring today.
Oh, good. You always want to be able to keep your vaginal ring close and your friends closer. Uh,
A ring puller.
but you'd pull it, and it had this real distinct squeak sound. And
Yeah.
he needed a sound for a video game to make for these doors, these sci-fi doors that opened. But they weren't like perfect. They were kind of rickety. So he took that and he like added some modulation, and it made the perfect door open shut sound using this
Oh, that's
badge
clever.
puller. I'm like, I would have never heard that in a million years. These people
That's
are
clever.
special. It's pretty awesome.
I don't have the toning. What is it called if your ear doesn't suck?
Toning. I think that's a good word.
Toning. Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
think
the professional
toning.
word.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can put that on your CV. Has excellent toning.
Toning. Travis is like, I wanted to be a toner when I grew up.
You wanted to toning. I couldn't do it. It's way too tedious for me. But Travis, you more. Hey, you know what? Follow your dreams. Why stop now? Find
Don't stop. Get it. Get it.
find
In
somebody
the
who
ear
needs some
of the
Foley art.
optometrist, find your Foley.
I love that. Find your Foley.
I'm an
That's
idiot.
beautiful. Small Town News.
A 12-year-old got a magnifying glass for Christmas and set his lawn on fire.
That's me. That's what I would do. I burned everything with a magnifying glass.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I burned everything.
I
was
never.
great.
I remember I put salt on a slug, but then my uncle made me feel bad, so I never did it again.
I did that too. I burned it. I wanted to see what it did. It melted into the grass.
It was real bad, and then Uncle Kevin's like, "Well, they probably feel that." I'm like, "You showed me how to do it."
Why would they tell a kid this stuff and not expect them to try it when they find a slug? I was like, this is neat. Science, right?
They like
I also
bubble and
took a-
froth and then die in agony.
Yeah, the weirdest thing we did that we set on fire. I had this. You remember Sting, the wrestler? You don't remember Sting, the wrestler?
Well, the goth dude.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Fair enough. He looked like the Crow.
Yes.
Well, I had this doll of him that I got out of a vending, like one of those claw machines.
Okay.
And we went outside and we jammed a stick into the ground, and we tied Sting to the stick, and then we poured citronella all over him and lit him ablaze. And it was pretty wild. We recorded it so we could watch it. It was awesome.
See, Steven, in another life.
Everyone,
Steven
when I
would've-
tell that story, goes, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, I was 17 and I wasn't out doing drugs or having
That
sex.
sounds fun
So,
now.
yeah, right? See? And nobody was getting hurt. It was fun. It was fine.
I mean, when you were like, I put him on a post, I tied him up. I'm like, where is this going? They're like, we set him on fire. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine. Totally normal kid stuff.
A family in Texas found themselves doing damage control on Christmas Day after their 12-year-old son accidentally set their lawn on fire with a magnifying glass. Nisa Lynn Parson, that's a fun name, posted photos on Facebook. Sorry, it hurts me to say that. Of what she said is going down in the family history book as one of the most memorable Christmas days to date. Quote, my 12-year-old son, Caden, hey, I own that name.
Oh,
Received-
yeah, that is yours.
TM received a magnifying glass, which we thought was for reading, but instead he tried to see if he could he tried to see if he could light a fire with it. Caden and his two brothers went out the driveway after opening presents to, quote, burn a couple holes in some newspaper with the magnifying glass he had just received when an unexpected fire broke out. How dry was your
I
yard?
know that had to
Oh.
be real dry.
The wind caught the newspaper, blew the embers into the lawn, ultimately causing the grass to catch fire. Everything was under control till the boys came running into the house, telling us that a corner of the lawn was on fire and the Christmas lights were melting. Whoops! She said she's glad the family was able to contain it before it got worse. In the photos posted, blah, 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 the Parson clan in matching pajamas can be seen with garden hoses in hand, dousing the front yard of their McKinney, Texas home with water to extinguish the flames, leaving parts of the grass burnt to a crisp. I
That's
guess it is
amazing.
Texas.
That would make a great Christmas card.
Oh, right?
You know,
I
everybody
would
on
lean
there.
into that.
Oh yeah.
Parson and her husband Justin said they weren't surprised that Caden asked for a magnifying glass for Christmas because he's an avid reader, very curious, and interested in science. The next door neighbor, whose grass was a little burnt, was just glad it wasn't worse and was good natured and pleasant about the incident, according to Justin, which I'm assuming is the husband because I just read that a sentence before and it is. I was correct. Yay.
This is when neighborhood politics comes in handy. You got good
Mhm.
relationship with your neighbors, the kid can burn their lawn a little bit, and it's like, meh. As long as you didn't burn the house down, it's just fine. I mean, you give a 12-year-old a magnifying glass, that's what he's going to do with it every single time. My dad had a magnifying glass in school, and he would sit and burn the kid in front of him in class because he has that next to the window. He'd burn his neck. The kid would do this. Hey, you know how kids are.
Did he know what was happening?
Yeah.
I would have beat the shit out of your dad. Tim, I'd have gut punched you, man.
I used to burn everything. That's where I learned how to do it, from him telling that story. And so, like, I actually did it with Sam's. He's got a little magnifying glass, and I went outside with Sam when he was 2, and we burned a leaf. It was really fun.
Oh, wow.
I was like, Sam, watch this. You got to get like a really fine dot, and then it'll just. Bzz.
I don't think I've ever said anything on fire with a magnifying glass. I just used fire to create more fire.
I've never said anything on fire with a magnifying glass, but I have like singed things. I've tried to write my name and stuff before. That
in
was
the
fun.
snow with your wiener.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're just jealous you can't write your name in the snow with your wiener.
Yes. I actually, I'm. If I could take one thing from being a guy, it would be the stand and pee maneuver.
If somebody came along one day and said that your pooper could also be like a tube that goes out of your body and you could poop anywhere you wanted, would you do it? Would you have a tube butt, a butt tube, a tentacle rectum?
Okay, so I feel like that could be abused because you could like sneak to somebody's house you don't like and stick your butt tube in like a crack in a window and just a tentacle rectum.
Yeah, you just.
Griffin's like, I'm so Scott, yay. Hi.
I feel like lots of people who are relatively new to this are like, what who is Steven and how does his brain work?
No, that's actually fascinating. I would take the urethra tube hands down.
Okay, so you would definitely get a wiener if you could have one.
But then I'm just like, when would I read if I had a butt tube?
Yeah. Then you'd have to refunction like your entire house because your butt tube could dip in the water and that'd be gross.
Yeah. Like, okay, so if your butt tube looped around to come out front, like a
You
wiener,
could, like, aim
but
it
like a
forward?
butt wiener.
You could pull your butt between and aim it forward is what you're saying.
Yes, that would be more desirable than having a backward facing anal tube.
Okay. I really appreciate you entertaining this with me and walking down this.
I feel like it's a very good question.
I mean, if you're like any one of your body, like, you know, any one of your body parts could be attached to tubes that could go, could be more flexible, like a prehensile tail on a monkey. Like, what would be the most useful appendage to have turned into one of those? Like, I feel like your eyes could be kind of cool if they were on spindlies.
They're gooey. They're so full of goo.
Yeah, that's true. Your ears, you could like wave them around. The chat is
Eye
losing it
stalk.
right
Yeah,
now.
see, same. I don't know that I would do eye stalks because I feel like I want to protect my eyes, and having them be able to telescope out of my head would not be ideal for the protection of my eyeballs.
That's sorry. That would be, yeah. I know, but the eyes would be cool because you could like look around a corner.
Steve and I are both like, we have snottenings. We're just like, here,
Dude,
I'm just gonna do the show like this.
I'm getting sicker as the night goes on, and it sucks. No, okay, so you have to pick one body part that has like
That would telescope out of your
the
body.
stipulation that has come with you opening this weird box you found in your grandpa's attic. This thing comes out, it's like, you must choose an appendage to tubal. And you're like, oh, shoot, now I gotta do it.
I would do my vagina so I wouldn't have to take my pants off to have sex.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Oh, gosh.
Is that not right?
No, that's...
I mean, because sometimes you're like, I would like to be laid, but it's so cold. So if you could just like whip your vagina out like a flesh sickle,
You're like
a fleshlight.
you're like when you're refueling an aircraft.
Yes.
You know,
Yes!
in
And it would just
midair.
open up to absorb the wiener, which is already a tubal. Blah, 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 blah.
You would just be there's just two tubals coming at each other with just zippers. Zippers is all you need and you're good to go.
Two tubals.
You're that'd be pretty great.
Welcome to the show, new joiners.
Yeah, I think I could go with the eyes. I think that'd be pretty cool. Because then I could be like, hello, and look around the corner. Like, it'd be like macking me.
Travis, I picked a hell of a week to quit drinking.
Welcome to the show.
Wait, so would you get telescopic vision with your eye tubals?
No, I think they'd still work like regular eyes. They would just
You would
be,
just
you would-
omnidirectional
they would
outside of
be-
your skull.
They would be prehensile. So, like, somebody could be walking up behind me. I could, instead of turning my whole body, I could just go, whoop, and, like, look back at them.
Ugh. Like,
That'd
all
be
I
cool.
can think of is Total Recall when Copenhagen's eyes bug out of his head because he landed on Mars. I am still bothered that was all a lobotomy trip.
I think it was pretty cool myself. I don't know that I would do it. What a way to live, though, or to think you lived. Before
No,
you...
he died and then he's lobotomized and he has no more lives.
Yeah, that's okay, you know? Hey, I think the only thing I could think about the eyes would be getting it caught in a car door. Like,
Or a window, like if you're perving on your wife and she was like, Steven! And just squished your eye juice everywhere.
You could, yeah, I mean, you could definitely be a perv if you had that going on, because it's like, I'm not in the room, but my eyeballs
I mean, at least
are.
with an extendable vagina, it's got utility.
Yeah, I mean, then you could just, having babies would be different, though. Like, because they got to come out that door. And then they'd be this big tube.
Well, I mean...
Anyway, would you tell us what body part you would have? And report back to hnhshow@gmail.com. Get in on this. It's good action. Get in on this action. News better left untold. A woman is accused of trying to use her dog's pee for a drug test.
Nope.
That does not. Those
Nope.
are not the same.
Nope.
Find
I could have saved you a trip, honey.
Yeah, find someone who loves you to do it for you. Actually, don't do that. Horseshoes and hand grenades does not condone using other people's urine to pass drug tests. Thank you.
Unless it's the same sex and you need the job and you're not an asshole.
Okay, well, whatever. Figuring she wouldn't pass her drug test, Julie Miller wished to swap her urine for her dogs, but got in trouble anyway. The 40-year-old Kentucky woman was asked to take a drug screening as part of her supervision. When it was discovered, she snuck in a sample of urine to try and pass it off as her own, according to the Pineville Police Department. When asked by an officer if the urine was hers, she reportedly replied it was her dog's pee. And when questioned whether she knew she would fail the test, police say Miller replied yes. She reportedly said the test would show she had used methamphetamine and Suboxone. Miller was arrested and charged with tampering with physical evidence. She was later served a probation violation at the detention center by probation and parole, and a short time afterward, a trafficking and controlled substance warrant by the Bell County Sheriff's Department. She's in a lot of trouble. I mean, there's no good way out of it, but you could have lost one charge by being honest. You know, like it's one of those situations where honesty is the best policy. Even if you're actually gonna get in trouble, our teachers do this to us. This is a crock of crap. They try to run you over and make you think the world works this way. But when you're in first grade, they're like, listen, if you guys fess up, nobody's in trouble. Just be honest with me. And then they might actually hold to that. If somebody says it, you're like, okay, you were honest. Thank you for that. That's no good, but now we know next time we'll do the right thing. But then you get out of the real world and you're like, teacher taught me honesty was the best policy. And you just honest yourself into prison. Good job.
So that's actually really fantastic point because they, look me in the eye when you're telling me that. It teaches you to lie to someone while you're looking them in the eye. And then like I understand trying to get a child to confess to something while they're younger using the tactics Steven just mentioned, but it's not applicable to actual life. You're just manipulating a young adult or a young child to get something that you want.
Well, the look me in the eye thing is really, it's a lot harder to lie to somebody when you're looking at them. So it's like the intent is for you to get the truth, not to teach them to lie better.
But that's what you're doing. Like I learned real quickly that if I was going to lie, I was making eye contact because they would believe me.
That's horrifying because now I know to watch out for your eye contact. Like Ashley's looking at me. She's got to be full of crap. Whereas I was taught to not lie. And if I did it, I sucked at it and I still suck at it. So I don't lie anymore. It's not worth it. It's crap. I lie like my heart starts racing and I like explode into just fire. And I'm like, okay, fine. You're right. I took the candy.
Did I tell you that I had an entire class of mine when I was at WV convinced that I was from Australia?
No, but that sounds
My
like something
entire
you would
class.
do. I mean, you were at WVU. It wasn't that hard.
I spoke in an accent the entire time. People would call me. I would speak in an accent. I would just make just stupid stuff up because I'm like, oh, wow, that took off.
College is fun for you. Wasn't it? This is a social behavior experiment for you. You're like, oh, look at all these new people that don't know me. Boy, crikey. Good day. That's pretty good.
Like, hey, I'm really good at. Oh yeah, eWeb. eWeb was not part of. I don't think I ever had a class with Eric. We just like hung out and drank.
That sounds like a good time.
Eric's eyes would be like, "Hi, I'm a normal human being," and then after 6 drinks, he'd be like, "I cannot see the world through my drunken eyelids."
Eric is great. If you guys like art, you should follow Eric Webb on his channel because he draws every day and he's the greatest.
He streams constantly and his artisticness is wonderful deliciousness.
He is a
words.
wonderful
Kelly said so.
Wonderful streamer and a human being. I met Eric one time because we were at that Fox and Friends restaurant or whatever where you could order half a chicken.
Oh yeah, for Greenie Day.
That was fun. I had a good time there. I ate half a chicken. I was like, what on this menu will I eat? Because at the time I was still like, are there chicken nuggets here? I didn't eat anything. So
I just remember that was a huge mismatch of people that like I knew, like very differing pockets of my friend group. And I was like, hi, people, you want to get together? Hi, other people, you want to get... So we just had, like, that huge, long bench of people.
Ashley was like, I have this friend group, and I have this friend group, and I have this friend group, and because I like all of them, they'll all like each other. And that doesn't always work, especially when you're Ashley, and you do like almost everyone in the world unless you don't like them, and then you slash their tires and hope they catch on fire. So
Yeah,
that's
that rhymed.
those
Yikes.
are the two sides of the Ashley you can be on. You can be on the I'm a poop on you side, or the I love you to death and I'll be your friend forever, and I'm going to text you every day for the rest of eternity.
That's probably true. I did recently block someone that I had been friends with because I hadn't heard from them a while, and then they texted me like, "Yeah, I've been in jail for a while." And I'm like, so I just, like sometimes you'll do something and there's just like this inner voice that's maybe real quiet, but it's like, this is dumb. You are dumb. What you're doing is real dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. So I had that voice and I'm like, I'm going to listen to you.
And then never talk to you again.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun.
Bye.
That's
Appreciate
really
you
good.
thinking
I
of
was
me.
I was wondering if you were gonna hang on to that one or not, because I was like, if there's one she should drop,
Nope.
it's
Yeah.
probably that one.
That was the next morning. I woke up and there were messages and I'm like,
This has got to go and done. End scene. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, previous chapter of my life. It was nice seeing you. We'll do this again sometime. WTF section. WTF.
Am I?
Yes, and this headline is glorious, and it's
Well,
why people have come to this show for years. Speaking of vagina tubes,
Man arrested after ripping other man's testicles during fight. I don't like skin rippage. You don't like blood. I don't like skin rippage. Skin rippage is rough, man.
this is terrible.
We were in the whole pregnancy woman circle thing, and we had to write like dear centering notes, like, dear centering, how do I make people not call me fat and hurt my feelings and blah 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 blah. And I didn't realize it was supposed to be like a serious thing, or maybe I just didn't give a crap. So I took my Blizzard paper and I wrote a note, and I'm like, I'm most anxious about squeezing a 7 to 11 pound human being out my vagina. And then that said humans sucking on my nipples until they fall off.
That sounds about right. I think most people could be on board with that.
But that, I don't know. But then we started talking about like skin ripping.
Oh yeah.
It was awful.
You're not supposed to talk about that stuff. There's stuff that's going to happen or could happen that you don't talk about unless it happens, and then you just pretend it didn't and move on. And that's why nobody talks about the stuff. Nobody talks about the negatives. They're like, childbirth is a beautiful thing. It would be a lot different if somebody went, when I had my child, I pooped myself and everything ripped, and that was just a crazy adventure. Then nobody would have babies. Like, you can't talk about it.
Kelly's, everybody's flipping out about this 11, but I've had like 4 women around me that have had 11-pound babies. Like,
yeah, I know the one lady you're talking about, and I don't know how she doesn't weigh 11 pounds.
No, she's like a petite, and that's the thing. Like Jacob and she's like, her and her husband aren't like huge people. She's petite and he's shorter than I am. But Jacob and I are tall and large. Like,
oh, but it's a good size right now, right? You got a good kid, reasonable size.
He's tracking a week bigger than they think he is.
Okay, no big deal. It's fine. It's gonna weight gain will slow down, and then maybe I don't know. Stephanie had Sam ripped out of her guts, so we don't really know what the other half of the world is like. That was scary. Hey, we're going to cut open your stomach and pull a baby out of it. Sound good? Yeah, I watched Aliens once.
I don't, apparently the recovery from C-section is worse in some ways, because you're having to lift things and you shouldn't be lifting. Steven's dying.
I'm
going to
dying.
read about ripped testicles.
It wasn't, Stephanie, it's supposed to be terrible to recover from C-section unless you're my wife, and they're like, only walk upstairs once a day if you can help it. And she's like jogging up and down the stairs on day 2. I was like, I'm gonna come up there and glue you to the bed. You stay put.
That could be why she healed fairly quickly, didn't she?
Oh yeah, it was a piece of cake. She was out. Her C-section surgeon had that baby out in like 5 seconds. It was insane. And then it was the cleanest cut ever, so she was healed in no time flat.
I'm gonna read about ripped testicles. That sounds safer.
Okay, yeah. Instead of ripped vaginas, we'll be hearing enough about that for the next 3 or 4 months. Might as well talk about testicles first.
Deputies arrested Corey Jones after he allegedly ripped open another man's sack.
I love that there's a word invented for this called the scrotum, but the newspaper doesn't know that word, so they say testicle sack. Ripped open a scrotum would be too intelligent for whoever wrote this. So ripped open his ball sack.
Ripped open the testicle sack. Crews were first dispatched to the scene of the... No,
don't worry about it. That's an address. It's fine.
I know. I started to read it. My brain's like, doo-doo-boo.
Tore open the coin purse. That's excellent. Thank you, Travis.
Ew. Once there, they learned the victim returned to the home after a bad day at work and engaged in a verbal argument with Jones. So, wait. Okay, so the victim started it. That doesn't mean he deserved to have his nuts ripped.
Nobody deserves that.
The victim told investigators the two began struggling. As the fight continued, the victim's testicle sack, coin purse, jiggly wigglies containing the squiggly wigglies, was torn open, leaving a significant laceration. Why does this hurt me? Tearing skin is so... Investigators noted in the report that the injury will likely require stitches and leave a permanent scar. No shit. Jones was booked on charge of domestic abuse battery with serious bodily injury.
I mean, maybe you won't need to get a vasectomy. You want to pay people for it.
Griffin, I'm looking at my dice bag and struck with sadness. Oh my god, that's so good.
I mean, torn open, is this like a Bruce Lee kung fu grip snatch and grab testicle tearing? Yeah. Or is this you grab it with both hands and just rip it in half? Or is this just a circumstance of the fight? It says that as the fight continues, the victim's testicle sac was torn open. Maybe it wasn't that the guy grabbed his balls. Maybe it was just one leg went that way, the other leg went that way, and there was some kerfuffles, and the sack got torn open,
How many men listening currently have their legs crossed?
I mean, this is the worst thing what is it about genitals that makes it like the worst thing? Like if you gave a dude a choice, it'd be like, you can lose your left arm or your penis. They'd be like, left arm. As a matter of fact, just take the right arm too. Just leave everything else alone. You need it. You think that's like a thing where people are made to eat food and reproduce?
To protect your jiggly bits.
You think protecting the nuts is the most important? That way, that's why you would choose losing literally any other thing than your nuts.
Well, when I was in high school, I hated having boobs because they just got in my way, and I didn't understand sports bras were a thing at the time, and they weren't as grippy as they are now. But
when I was in high school,
the nether regions. If someone was like, "Would you rather your nether regions rip?" Can we just none of it? Can just nothing on your body rip?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Can that be the fantasy world we live in?
You had me thinking when I was in high school, I really liked that other people had boobs.
was such an idiot, and all my friends were guys. Like, and I knew that guys were horny and stuff, but like, I just did not understand.
You don't know the depths of. You don't
I
know.
didn't.
You don't know what a teenage boy brain is like. If you did, you'd just hide under a potato sack all day and hope no one looked at you. It's a dangerous place. They have
I mean,
no
I feel
idea.
like everybody left me alone because I was basically a dude. But like, we never had like dude sexy conversations.
What is a sexy conversation?
You know, like, hey Ashley, what do you think of the jahungas on Tiffany? You know, like, it wasn't when girls say, "Oh, guys just see me as one of the guys." Like, I wasn't like, all my friends were dudes, but like, I didn't fall into the, hey, let's talk to Ashley about what she thinks about Whitney's boobastic figure.
I don't remember ever having a conversation where you're sitting around and going, "Those are some nice boobs." I didn't run with that crew. You know what I mean? Like we were all a bunch of nerds. We were like playing Pokemon and stuff. I mean, not to say we weren't paying attention, but we weren't sitting around going like, "Hey, that one's got nice boobs." I mean, I guess we did on occasion. We'd be like, "Yep, definitely has the biggest ones." Oh no, there was a girl in the neighborhood that she would come and jump on my trampoline, and every guy in the neighborhood would come over. You and Stephanie.
Yeah, I
knew
wonder, like,
this
at
person.
what point girls start realizing that, though.
I
Like,
don't
they
know.
realize the effect that they have on guys. Because I didn't have a clue until I was like a couple years into college. I'm like, why are these dudes hanging out with me?
No, I think she knew. This one knew because if you were sitting on the bus in earshot of anyone, you could hear them saying, "Man, she's got the biggest ones." I think she was prematurely getting
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
She was like 11, and they were just massive. But we were sick. We were 11 too, so we were all like curious, what's going on here? You know.
Kelly said her and Zafo didn't start talking about boobs till they got married and started to play the "Are Those Real" game.
Stephanie has talked about boobs in company more than I have. She'll be like, "That lady's boobs are fake," and I'll be like, "Oh,
I
okay."
do not notice boobs. Like, Jacob and I will be watching something, he'll be like, boobs. Where? He's like, right there, boobs. Like,
I think
how did you see that?
so. We were watching The Witcher, and Stephanie was like, "The next episode has all the boobs in it, all the boobs ever." That's what I was reading. This is the boob episode. I'm like, okay, all right. So what does this mean for me?
Peter's
Do I
like,
need to leave the room? How is this going? Then the boobs will come on. She'll be like, "Boobs." Boobs. And I'm like, it's funny because I'm pretty sure she's just trying to remove like whatever tension may be there. As I'm like, those are boobs on the screen. She's like, "Boobs."
Yeah, I don't even, because there's that one like orgy scene, and I'm like, holy shit, that room would be bukkake to crap. And Jacob's just like, oh, well, those are some people having sex.
I don't think they were actually doing anything. I think they were just rubbing
They
all
were
over
just like
each other.
air humping.
Yeah, they were just like rubbing all over. Could you imagine being the extra hired that day? Like, okay, so
I would
you're
like
gonna...
you to rub your vaginal area up against his penile area, but don't actually touch.
I don't know that I could be a director and have to give that kind of direction. I don't know that I could do it. Like, if I was given a script and I was like, it was going to make my career and there was a nudity scene in it, I'd be like, "Second unit, can you take care of that nudity scene and direct
I have to
this?
go poop.
I have to leave. You go ahead and tell that lady what this script says to do, because I cannot in good conscience say, now here's the part where you seductively take your shirt off and then you rub your boobs on him." Like, I couldn't do that.
Extra 34 in the back. I need more vigor with your humping. More vigor, please. Thank you. Oh, I would be so good at that.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. Female directors should direct the nudity scenes. I'll just walk away and be like, you tell that lady to get naked. I'm not doing like Emilia Clarke in Game of Thrones. You know, she first season boobs, second season she's like, F you guys, I'm not doing any boobs. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm going to be a serious actress and I know what kind of power I wield here and I'm not playing around. And that was really cool. And then she was talking at a conference or a convention or something, and she was like, you have no idea the directors I have to deal with post Game of Thrones every time they're like, you don't want to let down your fans, you better pull them out. And she's like, screw you guys. No. I'm like, could you imagine a guy who's a director walking up to you and saying, you don't want to disappoint your fans, you better get naked for them. Like, what the heck is wrong with you?
That's the suck a butt thing. That's just where, like, that's the, like, sucky thing about being a chick, because you're like, okay, I don't want to offend this person because it could negatively affect this, but at the same time, suck my hairy nutsack, you prehensile douchebag.
Yeah, and they're like, these are the male, and everybody's wondering, like, well, there's problems in Hollywood. Well, I imagine so. There's nudity and everything, and all the dudes are directing it. You can call it professionalism all you want. You're still a dude in telling a lady to take her clothes off for you for the camera.
I mean, if you've already agreed to it, if you're great with the script, if you feel like that's where the character goes and everybody's happy with it, then who gives a shit? But if you're forcing someone to do something that they're uncomfortable with, that's where I'm just like you can force someone into force is a bad word. You can encourage someone to do a scene that's maybe a little out of their comfort zone just to be like help them grow. But if it has to do with being uncomfortable to that point, like either for their safety, if it's a stunt, or uncomfortable because look, I just don't want to do this with my career, like that's not the trajectory I'm on, then F you very much.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
McFly actually brought up the sex choreographers for movies now. So they have this new, you have a fight choreographer.
Oh.
Now you've got, I think it's only sprung up in the last few years, but he's mentioned it to me before.
Netflix, thank you.
The sex choreographer, because you want to have no question as to what is going to occur in this scene. Because if you put two actors together and you're like, improv some sex scenes, Lord knows where your brains are going to go. Unless there's an agreed upon actions to take, actions not to take prior to the maybe kind of we're going to do this
Two
thing.
extras in the back get really into it, then actually start having coitus.
Yeah, and you're like, whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. You want it's awkward enough for both of them because they probably met like yesterday. And now they've got to like pretend that they're this super romantic couple getting down with the business.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous place to be. But I'm glad that we've dismantled Hollywood's sex problem here on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades right at the end of the show, solving the world's problems every episode. One episode at a time.
You're welcome, America.
Yes, please. That's our new slogan. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. You're welcome, America. Don't forget
to vote.
Don't forget the straw poll. Hit up that link. We're going to leave that live for the entire week. So share it if you are on Twitter. Retweet it and say vote for the funniest headline you see here. And people can vote. And then next week we'll reveal the winner or the top 10 list as voted on by the internet and see where we got. I think that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And as for that, man, that's the show. That's it. We didn't get any mail this week, but that's okay. I want to just ask you guys, if you're new to the show, thank you so much for your follows or your subs or whatever it is that you've thrown at us. Give us a review on your podcast service of choice. If you love the show, go over to Stitcher or iTunes or wherever. Drop us 5 stars. Say, this show is great. These two people are funny. Or be like 1 star. These people suck. I have no idea what they're talking about. They're talking about vorpal penises and stuff for 15 minutes. That would be cool. The penis that chops things off. Like, that would be wild. I wield it like a sword. Follow us on Twitter, @2dorkstv, Steve H&H, and Fate Kills, PHATE Kills. Tip us if you like to just throw money in the piano player's bucket. You can go to twodorks.net/tip. Throw us $1. That'd be cool. Or go to Patreon at patreon.com/2dorks, and you can give us a monthly sub that'll get you some perks. You can be as cool as Og and Charles and Jewel and Lucretia with their donations that keep the show moving every month and help us pay for the web server where all this junk is hosted. That's really helpful. Also, like we mentioned at the top of the show, go to twodorks.net/horizons to get the details on submitting your 7,000 word or less short story of an epic journey We'd love to have more stories in this collection and have a really cool book to put out at Christmas time that people will want to spend their money on. Also, twodorks.net/book to order Laundered and support Toys for Tots in that way. Oh, man, that's a lot of stuff to say at the end of the show.
I know.
I'm winded. But, winded, that's fine. Some people have struggled more, like Helen Keller, who said, "Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties." Helen Keller, she was blind and deaf at the same time. I don't even know how you get out of that. I don't know how that works, but she did it, and it's pretty amazing. I've been to her house. Believe it or not.
I just now thinking about it, the people, what was the lady's name that worked with her?
Oh, I can't remember. I only remember Helen Keller. The lady
But just
who
the dedication to someone that would just keep working and working without any real feedback. I think that's pretty cool.
it was insane. I watched a play
That's
on
a
it
metaphor for life, bitches.
It was, I mean, there were no blind and deaf people teachers back then. Like, this was the only lady, and she just did not give up. It was a remarkable story. You should go to Wikipedia and read about it. It's really great stuff. But until then, we'll see you guys next time right here on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Bye!
Two darks.
I like the trailing off laugh. That worked really well. That was good. That was fun.
Yay.
Birda, 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 burp.
Oh no, my with great vigor was only me that voted for it.
The show titles. Oh yeah, vote for your show titles, everybody. Vote for show titles.
Under nostril eyebrows.
H&H episode 493.
Tentacle rectum.
Tentacle Rept? Hey, thanks, Stevie's Travis, for stopping by. You guys, seriously, TV Travis's show, Wait You Haven't Seen. Go be a part of that, because that's a cool thing.
Yay!
That's a very cool thing. I love all these new podcasters that are popping on, like just being a part of various communities. Like the Dragon Con community has been really fun, and being a part of Brian Dunaway's crew and like all these different places where all of us are making content. Like it's been really cool. Because everybody's
like a bigger circle of funness.
Well, everybody's so supportive of each other doing the things they're doing. I've really, really enjoyed it. I haven't seen the first Terminator. I've seen Terminator 2, funny enough. I've seen that like 3 times. I've just never watched the first Terminator.
I actually liked the first one this last viewing. We watched the first and the second back to back, and I enjoyed the first one more of this viewing.
Really?
It was a little more like gritty, I guess.
Yeah,
for sure. And it may have just been pregnancy hormones, but I felt like I'm just like, what is with all this emotional bullshit in the second one?
I love that you're the opposite. You should be getting more emotional, and now you're like, what? Caring about
I've just become angrier and less caring about things, which is great trait in a mother.
For sure. Thanks, TV Travis. I'm not fine. I'm basically trying to promote myself to be on that show with them to talk about Terminator because I need an excuse to watch it.
Bring him on and talk about Terminator. I need to hear his take on it, and that'll make him watch it because me nagging him for 12 years hasn't done anything.
Oh, by the way, I listened to Breaking the Panel today with you on for the Return of the Rise of Skywalker episode, and I was yelling at my speakers mentally. I was like, "You guys!" Bah! And it wasn't like angry. There's one point where somebody mentioned Colin Trevorrow, and I think that everything he touches, aside from the first movie he did, is a load of poop. And I was like, if Colin Trevorrow had to direct Rise of Skywalker, I would have shot something. Like, not someone, something, because I'm not a violent person against people. But I would have been like, ah! Because
what did he make?
He broke every freaking thing. He did. He's ruined Jurassic World or Jurassic Park by making the last 2 Jurassic Park movies. Well, he made Jurassic World. He directed it, and it was a dumpster fire. And then he tried to make, and then he produced and wrote the second one, which they turned it into a horror movie. So he just has no concept of what he don't give him any more franchises. Let him go make something himself. He can go make.
Wait,
his
what
own
did he
thing.
turn into, a horror movie?
Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom was a horror movie.
Oh yeah, it was very like Resident Evil at the end.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was stupid. I like Jurassic Park, and everyone liked Jurassic Park because it's freaking dinosaurs, and they
was
acted like
amazing.
dinosaurs, and that was enough. We didn't
Yeah.
need like we've invented a killing machine. It's like, oh gosh. Yes, right. So TV's trap is what I'm talking about. Safety Not Guaranteed was pretty good, and it was cute, and it was fun. That was what he did. That was good. Everything
haven't
after
seen
that
it.
has been a pooper. And I mean, if you really love Colin Trevorrow stuff, more power to you. This is my humble opinion. It's all poop. All poopy. all,
It's all poop.
all poop. Okay, what about the show titles? I got stuff to do. Let's see.
No.
TwoDorksTV.showbot. Showbot. Yeah, humble
It looks
opinion.
like Robo Penis as one.
Robo Penis the woo-ha. I think I said hoo-ha. Robo refueling the fleshlight, torn coin purse with great vigor. There are many dork, but this one is mine. Tentacle rectum. These are all great. Find Your Foley was pretty tame. Two-piece mush. Keep your vaginal rings close and butt tube. This show is great. I love doing this. This is so much fun. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tonight on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, Steven can't keep his head straight. Andy jacked up the recording again. All right, hold on. Gosh, such a terrible, terrible podcaster. What stories did we read? Drunk drivers with tires. Stories.
Drunk drivers with tires.
All right, here we go. Tonight on the show, the top 10 stories of 2019. You too can participate in deciding which ones are which by going to twodorks.net/2019. You can also hear. Oh, son of a gun! I just made that URL up on the fly. All right, let me do this again. Not all the way. I'll just do it from right here. Drunk driver drives 10 times over the what? This is the worst headline. Okay, hold on. I got this. Drunk driver loses 2 tires and doesn't even know it. 12-year-old does what 12-year-olds do and burns down his yard with a magnifying glass. A woman uses her dog's pee for an unusual reason. And a man's arrested for handling the family jewels in an inappropriate way. You're going to have to stay tuned for that one because it's a doozy. All this, the factoid, and more on tonight's episode of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, episode 493 for January 2nd, 2020.
Yay.
Oh, I can't remember the
Did
show
you read
title.
the title?
I can't remember the title. Hold on,
Robo.
I got it. Robo Penis in the hoo-ha. All right, there we go. See, that was easy. First try.
First try. Look at that professionalism.
Listen, I've been doing this a lot of years, and I've learned along the way that nobody cares. So there you go. You get the audience that you work for. So, you know.
I love you people.
Y'all are great.
Are you
But with
getting
that-
sick?
Oh, so sick. I wasn't sick until like literally 3 hours ago. I don't know what happened. It just hit me like a ton of bricks.
I've been moderately sick since Shrimpapalooza. I don't know
Really?
why.
I don't know either.
And it's not like awful. Like I can still breathe at night for the most part.
Whoops. Almost really jacked this up. Yeah, your mom got sick. She got sick this morning.
I
and
just wonder if I got everybody sick.
Probably. Yeah, that seems fair. that seems like a good thing. Shrimpapalooza was great.
Shrimpapalooza was fantastic.
Those po' boys were legit.
They made. I'll put out a video as soon as I get a little more room on my computer.
she got a good one. All right, you guys, that's it for me tonight. Y'all are amazing, and I'm gonna get
thank
this.
you for hanging out and entertaining us and
Yep.
being wonderful.
I'm gonna get this show posted, and we're gonna move along.
And then we'll see everybody on Discord tomorrow. I've been enjoying reading Kelly's story.
Yes, if you're not on our Discord, you should totally join. I just dropped the link in the chat. It's a lot of fun. A lot of nice people in there, and we several of us work on computers all day, so we just sit in there and talk all day long.
It's wonderful. It's a lot of talented people, which is fantastic. It kind of
Yeah.
makes you feel like shit about yourself on occasion, but you
Yeah.
know, that's fine.
That's good. I feel good about myself all the time.
I mean, me too.
It's great. Yeah, please hit me with Terminator because I need a reason to watch it, and that would be a good one. So
Please, please.
see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.